Hello, beautiful everyday woman, powerful everyday woman. I'm Mia Frankl, CEO and founder of Powerful Inc. So fancy, a life coaching business for the everyday woman seeking peace, purpose, productivity in her day to day. You guys, everything is possible for you right now as you are, where you are. I know this because I'm living it. This is an interesting recording because I am interviewing myself. I'm hosting myself for the Everyday Woman Summit number 3, where women gather. The third in a series of what will be 6 summits, bringing women together to talk about their journey, their day-to-day life, and key pieces of what influences, of what anchors us in to our vision. So, keeping in line with the other interviews that are happening in this summit, let me follow our interview script. Let me follow it in my own Mia way. This is the third time I'm getting on camera today, and I'm feeling playful and spiritual and just so deeply happy and rooted in the vision that I have for my life and for all of us. So, I'm kind of excited to see what comes out through this recording and this self-interview, which I've never done before. I don't like talking to myself when I do these things. I'm a responder, but we'll get through it and it'll be magical. So, sisterhood as the survival guide to life, right? We're entering in the Everyday Women Summit number 3, where women gather. Community. The women in this summit are ones that I've met through my network building, and some of them have become incredibly close, even though I've never met them in person yet. Sisterhood as a survival guide to life. We have children, spouses, jobs, coworkers, dreams even that will come and go. And yes, of course, some friends too. But if we had to live a certain chapter without a certain person or support system in our life, what would have happened to us? So, in this summit, we're going to amplify the power of community and smash the paradigm of the lone wolf. If you've been in my space before until now, or at any time in the future, and gone back through all of the stuff that I've created, I like to smash the solopreneur word, and I have crafted collaborapreneur, where we come together to support each other and build business together, build life together. Okay. So today, sorry, behind each everyday woman is another one, cheering her on, calling her out, and making sure she stays connected to her mission and her vision. And we remind each other of who we are and who we're becoming, especially when we can't see it for ourselves. So today we're talking with me, Mia Frankl, about the role of community in her journey. This whole summit wouldn't exist if I didn't have community to draw and call upon the 18 contributing speakers to be part of this. So let's see how I receive and give support. Because, as I like to say, it's all better together. I like to spell it TWOGETHER, together. So, question number 1 is about the circle. When I think about community, friends, family, coworkers, mentors, what are my different circles and what makes them so important to me? I have my family. Which is like my mom, my mother in law, my sister in law, and some friends who are just too close to not be considered part of the family circle. I have a friend group. I have a wolf pack tribe that I've known since I was 11. I'm now 43. They know me better than I know myself, which is awesome and annoying sometimes. I have friends at work. There's a little sisterhood of 3 of us, 30s, 40s, and 50s. We're each in a different decade, and the way that we support and connect each other is completely supernatural. The chemistry is amazing, and they are surviving day-to-day life with me as I am with them. And then I have my online community. I have my sisters in Christ, my fellow believers. I have podcast guests that weave in and out of my life. I have coaches. And I'm in Girl Guides as a volunteer, and I have that Girl Guide community, and then a few other peripheral, other community involvements that I do. And by and large, women. There are men in my community too. There are definitely men in my community too, but these are the different circles around me. And what makes them so important is the way that they hold all of who I am, part of who I am, part of who I'm becoming, part of like the present right now. It weaves together in this incredible synchronicity that continues to ground me and anchor in my identity, remind me of blind spots, remind me of past lessons, confront current things that I'm going through and not placate or enable me, but hold me accountable, question me. And they all feed, they're all the ecosystem that feeds my entire self, past, present, and future at once, because some of these friends are going to be with me forever. Others may come and go, like I said in the intro, but some will definitely be there forever. And as I grow, they grow. And that's another beautiful, like reciprocation around what's happening in my community. I know that I would not be this version of myself without these women. And I'm just going to say for a moment that men are different. There's a different dynamic there, and my spouse is my closest male. I have a few other male friends, but I'm not sharing at the level of vulnerability that I am with my sisters, Um, and it's less complicated with the women because we're not romantically entangled. We're not sharing finances. We're just trying to get through life one every day at a time. And there's a certain spaciousness and freedom with that. And we don't tend to judge each other in the same way. We don't have similar expectations. That doesn't mean we're expectation free. It just means that um, the way that we relate to each other is a lot more, I'm going to say, like friendly, free, allowing, accepting. All right. So, question one. So, then question two is being supported. As women, we're great at supporting others, but not always at letting others support us. How have I learned to allow for support, and what difference has that made in my life? Can I imagine the last few years without some of those supports? There's like two or three elements to this. In my personal life, as a mom with a young child, the other child in the house is 9 years older, so the sister dynamics between them are very different. They're living very different lives and stages of development. My best friends have kids born the same year as my daughter. And when we get together and hang out, the kids run together and us moms run together. And it's really great when you love your kid's friend's parent as much as your kid loves their friend. It creates a larger family, a larger ecosystem. So, what would motherhood have been like without especially those two beautiful women and then a periphery of others that I met in baby group that I went to Disneyland with? Well, it would have been more lonely for me and my daughter. It would have been harder to go camping because now you're doing a 12-hour day all by yourself with the cooking and the setup and the cleaning and the entertaining and the everything. Um, Drop off and pick up, weekend get togethers, movie nights, sleepovers, all of that has added so much richness. My daughter doesn't have cousins her age and not cousins locally. These girlfriends of mine have filled this incredible space of extra family that has completely changed. Like, there's almost as many pictures of my friends' kids in my photo album as my own, and that has been so rich and beautiful. And in the larger collective of my friend group, when all the kids are together, there's like 20 or 30 of them of all ages, and it paints the picture of the stage that I'm in and the stage that's coming. So I get to see a little bit of all of life at once, and it's so beautiful. With my friends at work, this beautiful trinity that's happened. One of them, I had to work really hard to get her to come and join me because we were working in a not great work environment. Just come, it's fine, get here. And I can't imagine life without her day to day. Like, I can yell at her from my desk. And she knew me right after I met Chris, my partner. I think I was pregnant, freshly pregnant when we first met. And so she's been through a lot with me. Like, we're seeing each other 4 or 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year, minus, say, 4 weeks of vacation, sick time, whatever. we're spending a lot of time together, and we're women and we're chatty, so we're pouring our souls out to each other. So we know, we've walked through, she's been behind the scenes with me, right? And there's a sense of great safety and like, oh, release, of not trying to pretend that everything's fine, of being able to be super authentic, super honest with myself, and letting go of so much weight that I'm carrying with somebody, particularly on a day-to-day check-in. Because next is my online community, and they're fantastic and incredible. And some of these are going to be sisters for life. And while Messenger allows for a lot of communication, I can't hug them. I can't smell them. I can't hang out with them all day, although we sort of do in different capacities. So, but they feed an entirely different part of me too, and they hold space for even more of who I am, because they're holding, the online's holding my business self and like my home or personal self. And most of my online are business owners too, and so we can get into that creative juice and purpose and desire and collaboration together, hence the summit. And who would I be, or what would life be without? It would be lonely, it would be boring. These summits wouldn't be happening, the podcast wouldn't be happening, the retreats that are going to come in 2026 wouldn't be happening, the books that I'm being featured in wouldn't be happening, the community that I'm going to get to be a part of in my South Africa trip wouldn't be happening. If you don't know about that, message me and I will tell you all about it. You guys, it's amazing result of taking imperfect action. So life would just be, I'm going to say, smaller, and not in a bad way, just in a dimmed light of energy than who I really am. I have big freaking energy, sometimes too big for me. Maybe that's why I need all of this community to support it all, because there's just so much. I need like a village to help me, because there's so much Mia to come out. And it's beautiful and it's wonderful that I can be so big in my energy and have places for it all to land and be held. It'd be a lot harder on my own. So if my community is a mirror, sometimes community can reflect back to us who we're becoming. What have the people closest to me taught me about myself? Am I surprised by who knows me best, or what version comes out in different communities? What am I learning about myself in my different circles? You know, I am surprised by who knows me best, and I am surprised by the version that comes out depending where I am. Sometimes I play a role, sometimes I fulfill a stereotype that I've been known for. These last few years in the friend group that have known me the longest, I feel like the last few years I've finally broken free of what they've lovingly teased me for forever, which was Mia needs the plan and don't deviate from the plan. And I haven't been teased about that in a while. I've become softer, and I've become bolder and more individual in the greater group, particularly as, some of these women, like I said, met me when I was 11 in my very formative, ungrounded sense of identity. And now my identity's stronger. So it also gives me more freedom to show up, um, feeling more calm and not needing to put on, not needing to be the party girl or the cleanup girl or the anything. I can just be the me that I'm feeling in that moment, and which is usually loving and peaceful and joyful to be around people that I love so much. There's some friends that, yes, definitely know me deeply and will call me out on stuff. And I joked with one of them recently, like, I'd like to call a different lifeline. I want a different answer. But that sense of accountability, that sense of mirror is very welcomed. I want my people to tell me what I'm not seeing or what I'm resisting, so that I can grow through it. I want to stay open and creative. I want to stay growing. And I never want to get to a place where I think I've figured it all out. I'm not God. I can't figure it all out. I can just continue to flourish. So I have a very fertile environment around me that's nurturing me and helping me continue to bloom. And what I'm learning, and this really just dropped, let's be real clear here, it's October 17th when I'm recording this, 2025. I'm noticing about myself in my different circles that more and more of me is just coming together as one. So I would be a certain way over here, and then a certain way over there, and a certain way over there. And now more and more, this happened yesterday because at work I was hosting a webinar, a guest speaker in the profession. And in the comment section of the Zoom, somebody said, "Oh, Mia, get her own podcast, da da da, you know, put her on XFM radio." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I do have a podcast." And that seemed crazy to me. I don't talk about life coaching in my industry and bylaw enforcement at the conferences. They don't talk about that. But yesterday, let it be safe. And I did. And that was really great. It was showing me that I'm like consolidating all of who I am more and more into one. And that's very freeing and very fun because I'm like more whole and I'm more certain of me. And then I'm more relaxed to be that person everywhere. I don't need to hold back. If I'm feeling bitchy, if I'm feeling sad, if I'm feeling excited, I can bring it no matter the audience that I'm in, the community circle I'm in. And then, like, everybody just gets to see more of me and I get to engage with them in a deeper way, right? I don't always have to be Coach Mia. I just can be Mia. I can just be the self that I am in that webinar yesterday. I wasn't trying to put on, I wasn't trying to host a podcast. I was just being me, but more elements of me came out at once. And that's beautiful when I'm being held in different containers, different spaces. They're all pouring into one bucket now and building who I really am altogether. So reciprocity, I know it's a typo on here, and hopefully people are figuring that out in the interviews. We'll fix that in a minute. Reciprocity. I give so much to my family, to my work, to my dreams. Yes. How do I show up for my community? And what does giving back look like for me in everyday ways? Oh, this is everything. This is the whole reason I'm alive. This is the whole reason I'm a generator and can do until I outdo myself. I want everybody to be seen. I am like the puppy at the dog park. Happy, happy, happy. Hi, hi, hi. How are you? What do you need? What can I do for you? Servant leadership. I'm building community through washing the feet of others. Okay, it's a very Jesus story right before he was crucified. At the Last Supper, he washes everybody's feet. Servant leadership. So the summit isn't about me. Absolutely, I'm staking a claim as a leader of the everyday woman and I'm bringing us forward, but I'm doing it for all of us. And I'm humbled by the experience and the willingness of these women to contribute and to participate and to be excited and to be in the messenger chat, getting to know each other and creating their own excitement where I don't have to be the center of attention. I'm bringing us together. And in that, we can create together. They don't need to lean on me. I'm just sort of like organizing and overseeing and connecting and you know, weaving it together. They've bought into the vision. And that is so beautiful to me because it's their vision too. And I just help us achieve it together, right? Facilitate. I help facilitate it. It also means, this is great. I'm really in love with this story about myself. As a best friend, had a great sleepover with the kids and my girl, my adult friend, call her the girl, the woman, and her dogs got into some food and diarrheaed all over the house. And the next morning, we have to deal with it. And I'm there with a popsicle stick scraping dried dog diarrhea off of her floor to help her deal with this. It was a nightmare. She was dealing with a dog covered in poo and had to get it in the tub, and then it jumped out of the tub and it diarrheaed some more, and it was so violent. And I was outside washing the kennels and hauling them out and cleaning the kennel room and then going around and doing the floors and all the other cleanup. We pretty much scrubbed her house top to bottom that day. She dealt with the dirty dogs, I dealt with all the other stuff. Giving back, it wasn't even a thing, it was just of love straight from the heart. Of course I'm going to help you. Yeah, we're tired. Yeah, we, drank a little bit the night before. She wasn't feeling well. I was there for her. It wasn't even a question. I love her. Show up. Show up. At Girl Guides, I show up. I'm the contact leader. I'm there to make sure that all of us guiders are having a good experience. I'm there to look after the women looking after the people. And in turn, they're looking after me. This summit series is a testament to that. They're looking after me. My friends, my sisterhood are a testament to that. They're looking after my spiritual and emotional needs with all of the lifiness that's going on around me. They're there to hold and love me. My other girlfriend showed up to meet me at a parkade with the kids. She came on her own because we just needed to see each other. And half an hour, 5 minutes from her home, she made the effort to come out there and just spend that time with me so we could see each other in real life for a hot minute. This is the reciprocity of giving and receiving. And it ties in so beautifully to the next question of why we need each other. Because at the heart of it all, why is community necessary for women, especially everyday women, to thrive? I don't know. I'm going to have to get back to you guys. Like, if you haven't heard it, if I haven't articulated it in this, how long have we been? Quickish? I don't know. Fathom didn't record, but we're recording otherwise. Why? Why? Because when you need that friend to scoop the dog poop, to scrub the dog poop off your floor, when you need that friend to hold you when you've fallen apart and you're on the ground and you just don't know how you're going to get through a day, and you just have to voice note and you know that they're going to pray for you, they're going to be there for you, they're going to love on you and not judge you. When you're looking to do something big and you need somebody to do it with, and people are like, I'm in, I'm in, I'm in, I'm in, I'm in. And all the beauty and more life that comes out of that. Who would we be if we had to do it alone? I have been reading a lot, and one book made by Stephanie Lang, she was in it alone. She didn't have the support. It was her and her daughter, and she was in it alone, and she tried to lean on men from time to time. The women that were in her life and in her hardship was the cleaning company that she worked for. And they looked after her in the way that they could, and she leaned on them in the way that she could. If she hadn't had those two women, she would have been really in a rough way trying to be a single mom and pay bills. People who don't have at least one person in their corner, it's like being a flower out of the sun in dry ground. You need the ecosystem around you to thrive, to even just get through one more day. I just finished another book about a homeless man, and this woman tells of their 16-year friendship. Without her, his life would have been very different. She was a constant beacon of light that just kept him going and got him into a much more stable situation. And he ended up being housed for the last 6, 7, 8 years of his life. If we're going at it alone, if we're going at it in competition, it kind of defeats the whole purpose. I bring people together because I thrive in a together environment. Doesn't mean I'm hyper extroverted. It doesn't mean that I constantly need to be with people. I love being alone and peaceful. But the benefits become out of my control when we gather, when we come together and see what else is possible. They mobilize me, I mobilize them, and it moves around exponentially like a ripple effect. That's why we need each other. The other piece is that our dreams will drift and dim and disappear if we don't have people taking up the space behind us to make sure we can't go back, this is a big piece that I love to talk about. We come in behind and continue to just gently and lovingly nudge you forward so that you can't go back on your promises to yourself. This isn't judgment or pressure. It's beautiful accountability, support, and encouragement, and mobilizing you to stay true to that because it's who you really are. So, in a nutshell, that is why it's so necessary. That is why this summit series exists, is to give you a voice and a community and a place to be a normal, everyday woman who is building her big, badass, beautiful dream life, ordinarily precious, beautiful, and together, where we're relatable to one another. It's the garden. It's the absolute garden for us to be in together and to complement each other and to create greater beauty than individually. Not to say that each unique flower doesn't bring its own beauty, right? You get that. You know my heart. So where do we find me? Well, if you found me in this summit, keep coming along because the summit now, it's a group and I'm going to do monthly get-togethers. We can chat, we can host circle, we can just hang out and share in the journey of the everyday life. What's going on, what's coming, what's exciting. Not selling, not pushing, just being very real women together, hanging out and going on the journey together. So otherwise, everything is at Powerful Inc., right? Powerful Inc. I don't pronounce it funny. God gave me the spelling and that's how it's out. And it has a lot of robustness to the meaning, right? Powerful, powerful. You're living a very full life. It's very female and embodied around women. And it's in our power, in our peaceful, purposeful, productive power. So POWHERFULLINC. That's the tag on all the socials, on the YouTube, on the website, on the email, etc. It's all there. Thank you to a woman in my community who set me all up with all those your ats, whatever that social media moniker is called. So there we go, you guys. And I will thank myself with the closing, the scripted closing in my Mia style. So thank you to me for talking so openly about my people, my circle, my support, and my community. It's a powerful reminder that we're not meant to do life alone. Every everyday woman is held up, seen, and made stronger by the ordinary and extraordinary people around her. For every woman listening, may you take this as an invitation to look at your own circle with gratitude and ask yourself, how can I let myself be supported a little more? And how can I support others in small and everyday ways? Because at the end of the day, community is where our strength multiplies, and together we are unstoppable. Thank you for joining us in the summit. Stay tuned for 2026. There's going to be 3 more. And at the end of the summit series, you are taking the stage. You have come in as a listener, as a woman growing, as a woman in community. And summit number 6 is going to be the Everyday Woman Rises, and you guys are going to run the summit. Well, I can do the back end for you, but I want you guys to be the speakers. I want you to design the theme and the context, and I want you to take it away and launch out into your next version of yourself, your mission, your desires, your dreams coming true, and I will help you fledge from there. It's such a beautiful vision. So thank you for joining me and partaking in it, and keep in touch and come and join us for the monthly hangout sessions, circle sessions, whatever I'm going to call them. And let's just be together in the raw and the real, I like to say the post-turkey dinner unbuttoned pants where you just let it out and let it be safe to just be without proving, without performing, without any of that. So there you go. Thank you so much. And we'll be seeing each other around.